Welcome in, everybody, on this WTOL 11 Weather Impact Alert Day. I'm Chief Meteorologist Chris Vickers alongside meteorologist John Birchfield. And boy, we've got quite the winter storm that's unfolding across the area. And we'll have some team coverage on updates on what you're going to be expecting tonight, how much additional snow will fall. And John, a question that many people have been asking, what are the latest emergency snow levels for our area counties, with several counties, John, already under a level 3 snow advisory. John, it's been a pretty incredible storm so far, hasn't it?
Yeah, Chris, and we're really seeing the peak of this winter storm right now, with snow still coming down across the area. We're live on YouTube as well as our WTOL 11 Plus streaming platform. And right here, I've got your YouTube comments coming in, so we're going to be checking some of those out. Peter and Pam, I see your comments. Cliff from Toledo, good to have you with us on this Sunday evening. And if you want an additional update, we're going to be live as well on those same platforms coming up at 6:30 p.m. Now, if you don't already have it, that free WTOL 11 weather app, great place to check radar. You can scan that code at the side of your screen. So the snow is still coming down. We're not out of the woods just yet. I think the majority of the snow from this system has already fallen, and we've gotten a lot of questions about snowfall amounts. We're still waiting for the National Weather Service to send in some official snowfall reports, but the general consensus is much of the area has gotten at least 5 to 7 inches, if not a bit more, and there's still the chance for another couple inches before this system's totally in the clear. So keep leaving those comments on YouTube. I'm going to get straight into radar, though, and talk about what we're seeing right now. So one of the features that I'm noticing on radar is a bit of an intensification, especially in this region that I've shaded in red. Kind of on the backside of this system, we're seeing an uptick in the snowfall rate, and that's actually occurring from Monroe through the Toledo Metro, down the Maumee River and US 24 into Henry County, Defiance County, parts of Paulding and Van Wert counties, up towards Putnam County. That really distinct blue color indicates where the snow may be picking up some steam. So you may have seen it lighten up a bit briefly. Well, it is regaining some strength as well. As far as weather alerts are concerned, we're still under a winter storm warning, and that's going to be in effect until 7 a.m. tomorrow. So we've gotten a lot of questions about what that Monday morning commute may have in store. This winter storm warning is still going to be in effect tomorrow morning, and we expect that most, if not all, schools are going to delay or cancel as a result of this. And if you want to get those updated weather alerts, you can also get that free WTOL 11 weather app, and we'll send those straight to the palm of your hand. So as far as the bigger picture goes, the backside of this storm system wrapping around through northern Indiana right now as all the really heavy stuff moves up towards New England, and this storm system is going to cause some trouble for New Englanders this evening. Winter storm warnings are still in effect for a number of states, from Illinois and Indiana all the way up towards Maine and Massachusetts, and some of those big-time East Coast cities are going to be seeing a big-time snowfall, with some incredible snowfall amounts that are going to be coming in over the course of this evening. So a strong area of low pressure, it's actually gaining some steam and producing a swath of heavy snow across the northern tier of Pennsylvania, southern tier of New York, and out towards Boston and New York City. There is some heavy snow that is coming down as well, and those winter storm warnings extend all the way out towards the East Coast. So we're going to get into the hour-by-hour forecast. I'm going to check out a few of your comments on YouTube, and even if you're watching after the fact, you can leave those comments below. And also, for those of you tuning in on WTOL 11 Plus, thanks for taking some time out of your Sunday. Hope you're staying indoors and staying safe during this snowstorm. Kayla Wells, hello from Toledo. Good to have you. Hope you're enjoying the snow and being safe. Paula from Lindsay, Ohio, reporting 4 to 5 inches. I really appreciate that, Paula. It's good to get those snowfall reports. We got a report from Fremont of around 5 inches. Thank you very much for that. Kayla wants to know, is it done snowing for today? Kayla, it's not done snowing for the day. And actually, just to answer your question, we're going to get into the hour-by-hour forecast. So through about 5 to 6, still some steady snow that is going to be ongoing with this system. But I am going to advance through about 7 to 8. Still seeing some snow right along the I-75 corridor and east of I-75. And this is through about 7 to 8 o'clock p.m. So we do have a solid 3+ hours of snowfall. Now by 8 to 9, the snowfall is going to be ending, but there's still going to be some significant significant travel impacts. So we'll say between 7 to 8 the snow ends for Toledo, and then between 8 to 9 the snow ends east of I-75. So hopefully that answers your question, Kayla. I'm going to check out a few more of your comments on the YouTube channel. We've gotten some questions about snow emergencies. You know, we don't issue those within the weather department here, but I think they're a good reflection of just how bad road conditions are, as we do have a number of level 3s that have been issued, and Chief Meteorologist Chris Vicker is going to be getting to those snow emergencies in just a bit. But we're checking out a few more of your comments. Thank you for tuning in from Sandusky County. Good to have you with us. A question about Cleveland. The snow is still going strong in eastern Ohio, so it is far from done, especially east of Toledo, where the snow is still ongoing as this storm system barrels on through. So we're going to get to Chris in just a sec with that hour-by-hour forecast, but I want to leave you with one additional graphic as far as how much more snow we're expecting out of this system. Widespread amounts for the metro, going to be at least another inch, if not closer to 2 inches, and the best chance to see 2 or more inches is going to be south and east of the Maumee River. Areas like Port Clinton, Sandusky, Norwalk, Tiffin could see an additional 2 inches, and once the snow starts to wind down around 7 to 8, then we're going to have a better idea for exactly how much additional accumulation we can expect. But Chris, I think the storm has certainly lived up to the expectation that it is a major winter storm system with at least half a foot for the majority of the area.
And that's what we said, John. That would put it the largest storm system here in Northwest Ohio since what, February of 2022. So
yeah,
just about 4 years ago. Snow lovers out there, John, have been saying, all right, this is what I've been waiting for.
Yep.
But others thinking, boy, this is quite a wallop of winter weather, aren't they?
Yeah, certainly some mixed feelings about this one, but love it or hate it, we encourage you to stay indoors, stay safe if possible. And Chris, this is going to cause some significant issues, not only this evening, but I think long after the snow winds down, right. Roads could still be nasty.
It is, John. You notice this snow is a very light, fluffy snow. Yep. So there's a little blowing and drifting in rural areas. It's not really laborious to shovel this snow. I know it's coming down a lot, but it's very light and fluffy. We're expecting, John, as you show right there, about 1 to 3 more inches of snow, lighter totals west of I-75, heavier totals to the east. Let's get into the details of what we're expecting. Large storm system. Again, this is essentially from the Great Lakes all the way down to the Gulf Coast, where they had some strong to severe storms today across the Gulf Coast. In fact, still some severe weather that's occurring. The wallop of this winter storm is now going to be headed into New England. It is a major winter storm that's going to be taking place. And I will tell you, any travel plans by air are going to be rippling on for days. This is going to allow for many airports to cancel, delay flights now through early this week. It is going to be a mess trying to travel. Love how John highlighted this too as well. Some mesoscale banding occurring right now, which means a few intense bands, or at least higher intensity bands, that are just starting to kind of elevate themselves across the area, and that shows up on our weather maps on Doppler radar is an area of steadier and more intense snow, and it extends from about Monroe and Luna Pier right through the Toledo Metro. And if you notice, that intensity has picked up a little bit across northern Wood County, back into Henry County. So we're looking at areas like Napoleon, Liberty Center, down toward Hamler and Malinta. I've had reports out there, and I've seen these reports come in 7 to 8 inches. Many people in and around Hancock County reporting up to about 10 inches of snow, as we expected, and then areas east of I-75 out there towards Seneca County, down into Wyandotte County, one of the counties that is currently under a level 3 snow emergency. You still have more snow to go through. These have been extended. I know John hit this right off the top. Winter storm warning, especially along and east of I-75. That's in effect all day today. Tonight expires 7 a.m. tomorrow. Areas west of I-75, that winter storm warning is going to expire a little bit earlier by about 10 p.m. tonight. We're looking at snow that has fallen across the area. I want to give you a few views. I know maybe the only view so far has been outside your own window. We can look from the Marblehead Lighthouse cam, where that snow is still continuing, out towards Sandusky Bay, where snow is pretty intense across that part of the area. And look at this, toward the Lake Erie Islands, just in the past few moments. Used to be able to see Perry's Monument off in the distance, but what we're getting right here is the winds are picking up. Snow is picking up as well, sort of blowing and drifting some of that snow, especially over the icy conditions on Lake Erie. It doesn't really have that friction. Those winds are really whipping. And a view toward our lakeside cam out there toward Lakeside in eastern Ottawa County, where things are absolutely snow covered across the region. Catawba Island cam, one more view we're going to give you. Not seeing much here because that is snow that is blowing right over the frozen shores of Lake Erie. And one final view, including downtown Toledo, where we've got that snow that's a little bit steadier. So kind of wanted to show you conditions across the area and how icy they are and how slippery they are. I know road conditions very poor as well. And I'll say this, we're already getting school delays, closings, well, actually just school closings that are coming in. And I'll say it's nearly certain for all of Northwest Ohio that we're going to be seeing some impacts to schools, most likely closings, and many of them choosing just to make the call right now. Simply put, you got level 2, level 3 snow emergencies. Things are not going to be getting better in a very quick fashion. So snow emergencies, this is probably the hottest thing right now on WTOL.com. That's where I encourage you to go. We're going to update you right here, but this could change really literally by the minute. We've got Defiance County. You are under a level 3 snow emergency. Seneca, Wyandotte, and now Hancock County. That is the latest county to be added. Now, level 3 snow emergency means essentially roads, they are closed to non-emergency personnel. So really just go ahead and stay put. Level 2 snow emergency, now this urges extreme caution, just says, look, if you don't have to travel, we really don't want you out on the roads. Please go ahead and avoid that. So let me give you the quick rundown of what this means. We're well beyond the level 1. We're in this category right here, level 2 to level 3. And the level 3, this is when more real big impacts happen. All roadways technically are closed to the non-essential personnel. Employees should contact their employer to see whether that they should report to work or not. And again, it's not a get out of jail free card, so to speak. You still have to check with your employer. And those that are traveling on the roads could be subject to some consequences, we'll say, if you're out on the roads, or maybe you cause an incident or an accident on one of the roads, you could be more liable for some of those impacts due to the fact that that level 3 snow emergency is in effect. So here's the snow. It's still going to be continuing. John said it's going to continue through about dark tonight. Steadiest of it, here's the clock, 6:30, is along and east of I-75. And this is where we're going to have still the greatest snow totals. They're going to be with us between now and about 9 p.m., where you could see 1 to as much as 3 inches of snow. And that snow is going to continue to slide off to the east. And here it goes, 7 o'clock, 8 p.m. It's going to be ending for most areas between 7 to 8 p.m., but the lingering travel impacts, they will be fairly widespread across the area. Even as we dry out tonight, still a little blowing and drifting of that snow. And I can tell you, many of our neighborhood streets really have yet to be touched by some of the snow plows. So it's going to be quite some time before things actually do even out. I'm going to end with this right here. And John, you and I could talk about this. It's been quite some time since we've actually had a winter season. The snowfall so far this season, I'll caution you, this is before we have the numbers in today. It's already been up to about 19.5 inches of snow. John, I think we could add perhaps maybe 8 to 10 inches once we get the final number. And again, those reports going to come in over the next several hours and through and into tomorrow morning. But we could be nearing 30 inches of snow here in the end of January.
Yeah, it's definitely been more of a classic winter, Chris. And what also stands out to me about this winter is just how cold it's been and some of the wind chills we faced. And really, we've been calling this system kind of a wintry 1-2 punch, Chris, because, you know, first we have the snow, but we're not done with the alert days just yet.
No, we're not.
Tuesday morning is going to be another one of those Arctic feeling mornings. Wind chills, double digits below zero, just not going to be pleasant. And there is the chance that a lot of schools end up delaying or canceling for that as well.
I think so, John. Exactly right. The snow that has fallen, the ice that's kind of in place, it's going to be firmly in place. And we've got highs that aren't going to make it above 20 degrees. Now through next weekend, this is really some of the harshest winter weather. I'm going to go ahead and say it. The way this is shaping up, it's going to be some of the harshest winter weather in over a decade. I think we'd have to go back to the winters of maybe 2014, 2015, and maybe not to quite the degree we had in 2013, 2014, but you get the picture. We've got extreme cold weather that's going to be out there, and it is coming now with more frequent hits of winter weather, including snow.
Yeah, Chris, and there's still going to be some lingering travel impacts. I know you detailed that travel timeline real well, and we're getting a lot of comments about road conditions on YouTube as well, because folks are wondering, well, how's the Monday morning commute going to be? And it's not going to be great for most areas, Chris. I know we talked about that winter storm warning, how it is going to be continuing through the morning commute. I would say travel is going to be a red light, avoid at all costs this evening and tomorrow morning. Roads are still going to be snow snow covered. And on a situation like this, you're best off just leaving the crews a little space and time to do their jobs, clear off the roads and lay down some salt as well. Road conditions still going to be slippery, so a red light tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock a.m. Commute is going to be significantly slowed down, I expect. For the evening commute tomorrow, we'll call it a yellow light. Some of those side roads and the less traveled roadways, those are still going to be slippery and slick, although overall I think most of the interstates should at least be vastly improved by tomorrow evening. So bottom line, hunker down for the next 24 hours. If you have to be out tomorrow and reporting to work, which I understand most of you do, just use caution. Thankfully, by the evening commute, we're at least in that yellow light territory where things aren't going to be perfect, but we'll at least start to see some improvements as well. So I do want to show you some of the impacts, not only here at home, but across the region as this storm system barrels off towards New England. We got a question about Cleveland. Another 2 to 3 inches going to be likely for Cleveland, but check out some of these totals as well. Up towards Syracuse and Albany, New York, getting an additional 8 to 12 inches of snow for some folks off towards New England. So after the storm departs, it is the cold that's once again going to be a big part of our weather story. Tomorrow morning, if you do have to commute to work, it's also going to be frigid feeling. We've got the clock here at 8 o'clock a.m. on Monday, and temperatures are going to be in the lower single digits to near zero in spots, wind chills below zero, and west of Toledo back towards Defiance and Williams counties, wind chills could be as low as -15. So it is going to be a brutally cold morning, and there could be some blowing and drifting that occurs. Winds are going to be shifting to the west tomorrow. You can see those arrows here on our map. That's the wind direction. So winds are going to be blowing in from the west. So tomorrow, as far as the blowing and drifting concerned, it's typically those roads that are perpendicular to the wind direction. So actually tomorrow, some of those north-south roads out in the country could become covered. This is Monday afternoon at 4 p.m. Temperatures themselves are going to be making it up to the mid to upper teens, but there is still going to be a breeze. West winds generally going to be sustained at around 10 to 15, gusting up to 20 to 25, and that'll yield a wind chill slightly above zero to slightly below zero south and west, where it is expected to be a little colder. Now let's talk about Tuesday morning, because that is going to be a dangerously cold morning, and we do expect impacts to area schools. We have that weather impact alert day continuing as our low temperatures and our wind chills plummet. That feels like, you'll notice, double digits below zero into Tuesday morning, and that is because of the breeze that is really going to start to ramp on up. So let's talk about the next couple of days. Our alert day continuing for Monday with some substantial travel delays. There could be a few passing snow showers Tuesday into Wednesday, but overall, it's not going to be a major weather disturbance. In fact, one of the characteristics of the weather pattern that we're about to enter into is it's actually going to be a much drier and quieter pattern. So we're not seeing any signs of any other snowstorms on the horizon, but it is going to be very, very cold. And then as we go towards midweek, it is just going to be so cold, and it's going to be unrelenting, likely for at least the next 5 to 7 days. Those high temperatures only making it up to the teens, and overnight lows near to slightly below zero. Those are going to be commonplace for the rest of the week. So impacts that you can continue to expect from this storm. Travel is going to be incredibly slow this evening, and there's also going to be travel delays on Monday. Please use caution if you have to be out and about, and ideally avoid travel if at all possible. I'm going to get you back to Doppler radar. Check out a few more of your comments on YouTube, and we have our next stream coming up at 6:30 p.m. That's going to be both on YouTube and on WTOL 11 Plus as well. Hello from Findlay. Good to have you with us. 6.5 inches is your report. I appreciate that. Good to have that information as well. Let's see. We have got questions about snow emergencies. You can definitely check on the WTOL 11 website for that. Chris showed those earlier, and we'll have more coming up, streaming at 6 and 6:30 p.m. on WTOL 11. We got a report in Fremont of 5 inches. Thank you for that. Bloomville. Sharon's reporting 6 to 7 inches. So thanks for that report, Sharon. Sounds like a lot of snow to me. And Chris, I know we're getting lots of questions about the snow emergency as well.
John, I do have an update on that, too. At 4 o'clock, Ottawa County has now joined that list at a level 3 snow emergency. So that was an update as well.
Yeah, thanks for that update.
It's fitting for many of these counties to be under level 2 to level 3 snow emergency. And we'll clarify, I know, John, you said this as well. We do not have any say or call in that. That is actually made specific specifically by your local law enforcement, local sheriff's departments, where they make that call on the road conditions they are physically seeing, because they're the crews that are out there on the roads. A big issue, John, it's the blowing and drifting. I know the winds aren't incredible. They're gusting, I just checked, up to about 20 to 22 miles an hour, so it's not a huge wind, but this snow is so light and fluffy that we're getting some blowing and drifting because it's so fine. I would suspect that we're going to have some snow drifts on our county areas that could exceed 2 feet or more, so you don't want to be messing with that. If any county roads, John, have been untouched, because there's miles and miles that the crews have to get to. It's physically impossible that they can get to them all instantly. There could be snow drifts that reach 18 to 24 inches, which I'll say at times could make some roadways impassable. So with sundown coming up in just about 90 minutes, I don't think it's a good idea that people are out on the roads with those types of conditions.
Yeah, and I think in Ottawa County in particular, a lot of those rural roads are experiencing some significant blowing and drifting. Also, Chris, wind direction right now is coming in out of the northeast, so that wind off the lake could potentially be enhancing some of those snow drifts in Ottawa County. And of course, based on radar imagery, it actually looks like the snow is going to be picking up in Ottawa County, which is already under a level 3. That darker stripe of blue that we were talking about earlier, that slight enhancement or uptick in snowfall rates, that's going to be moving to the east of I-75. So I would actually anticipate that those tuning in from Wood County, Ottawa, Sandusky, and Seneca are going to be seeing that snowfall pick up some steam. I know it did lighten up just a little bit earlier, but if you notice right now, Doppler radar turning a darker shade of blue, and that extends from Putnam County up towards Henry, Wood, Lucas, and yes, over towards Ottawa County as well. So especially areas south and east of the Maumee River, there's going to be another snow burst, and snowfall intensity could pick up briefly to say 1 inch per hour. So that'll certainly verify with another couple inches of accumulation developing as that line of snow moves on through. I've circled it there so you can really identify, again, right along and southeast of the Maumee River is where some of those heavier totals are being reported. Again, we have a winter storm warning. That's going to be in effect until 7 o'clock a.m. Conditions on the roadways could still be pretty nasty through tomorrow and potentially even into the evening, especially for areas that are a little more rural and some of those untreated surfaces. We are expecting the snow to finally wind down between about 7 to 8. It is starting to let up a little bit in northern Indiana and western Michigan on the backside of that system. And eventually this winter storm is going to be transferring its energy up towards New England as this low races off towards the East Coast. It's going to pull all that moisture and energy over towards Pennsylvania, New York, and also coastal New England as well. There's some really heavy snowfall rates that are ongoing from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, through central and upstate New York, and out towards the East Coast as well. So a number of states are feeling the wrath of this winter storm system, and we are just one of many states that is experiencing this as well. So keep leaving those comments on YouTube, and for those tuning in on WTOL 11+, it's great to have you. We're going to wrap up in just a few minutes, but we do have that next live stream coming up at 6:30 p.m., so we'd love to have you there as well. And then, of course, tonight on air on WTOL 11 News at 11. By that point, we are going to have hopefully some better snowfall reports. I really do appreciate getting the snowfall reports on YouTube. But, Chris, once we get some official snowfall reports, we'll share those online, on social media, as well as on air. And I have a feeling this one's going to definitely be a memorable snowstorm with half a foot to a foot. And with some of those snow drifts, might be kind of hard to go in the backyard and just stick a ruler in the ground, especially if the snow has blown up against the side of your home. I think we can all safe to say, just by peeking out the window, this has been quite a snowstorm that is delivered. John, I do have to update you on this as well really quick. 2 more counties, Erie and Huron County, also under the level 3 snow emergency. So the vast majority, and that lines up well with where we expected. Heaviest to the snow, south and east of the Toledo Metro. And those are the counties right now that are under the level 3 snow emergency. If we could take you to the maps right here really quick, I do have something to go over. John, you kind of mentioned this as well when we were looking over toward Ottawa County. First things, we've got that banding of snow that's reinvigorating. Between the Maumee River and I-75 is where we've got the steadiest snow right now. I detected something I thought was fairly interesting that we could dive a little bit deeper into. A little lake enhancement that's occurring right now from the Lake Erie Islands over toward Port Clinton along and let's say just north of the Sandusky Bay area. So you can actually see that coming off of Lake Erie.
Erie with that light northeast wind. I know there's a lot of ice out there, but this is still picking up some moisture from some of the broken areas in the ice, and a little bit of enhancement that's showing up right there from the Lake Erie Islands down into eastern Ottawa County, say over toward Route 6 in Sandusky County. State Route 53 as well is an area that's getting a little bit of lake enhancement with some of that snow. So safe to say that we're still seeing snow that is accumulating. One more thing to note before we wrap things up as well. We talked about this being a major storm. Just ran some numbers. There are nearly 1 million customers across the United States without power right now, mainly due to a massive ice storm that's been well south of us. Now, we were fortunate. We didn't deal with any ice, so power outages generally are not a risk with us because this snow is very light and fluffy. Winds aren't gusting much beyond 20 to 25 miles per hour, but they have been absolutely hammered with ice across parts of Mississippi, Louisiana, Alabama, up into Tennessee, Georgia, and now into the Carolinas. Over 1 million customers that are without power. John, it is pretty incredible. We're going to take a wrap up here, John.
Yep.
But you said it, our next stream is going to be happening here, extended coverage live on WTOL 11 Plus, 6:30 p.m. and on our YouTube page as well. We're going to keep people connected. John, any final thoughts before we let everybody go for getting ready for some of our next streams and our newscasts as well?
Yeah, just take it easy outside. You know, even once the snow winds down at 7 to 8, I think the impacts of this storm are going to be felt not just tomorrow, but in some rural areas could even be much of the rest of the week, Chris, that we still see travel delays and, of course, that brutal cold that's going to be following this winter storm.
John, I'll tell you what, the snow's one thing, the cold is a whole nother level. Well, we appreciate everybody joining us on this snowy Sunday afternoon, a weather impact alert day for meteorologist John Birchfield. I'm Chief Meteorologist Chris Vickers. We will still keep you connected, though, around the clock on that free WTOL 11 weather app. And we're going to be back here live on WTOL 11 Plus and on our YouTube page at 6:30. Until then, we will see you soon.